It's just us, me, you, chat, and some currywurst in our hand. Our currywurst, just walking down the street. Yes, this is an immersive stream today. I'm actually IRL in Japan right now, looking backwards, right into the camera as I'm walking down. Just the two. Okay, have you ever seen that video of that one anime? It's like Cillian Murphy. It's like Cillian Murphy plus an anime girl as like the cover of the song, just the two of us. This is it. Oh my god. I don't know why. I don't know. yeah, Chica and Cillian Murphy. And I'm like, wait, why is this here? Wait, stream it. Chica, Cillian Murphy. Also, I found out his name is pronounced Killian, okay? His name is pronounced Cillian Murphy because I said Cillian, and I don't know if they were probably Irish. They got extremely mad at me for saying Cillian. So I was like, oh, okay, sorry. I didn't know that their name was something crazy. I don't know. Sorry, man. I'm sorry that I don't know what... A C is a C. A K is a K. Anyways, here's a Chica and Cillian Murphy. Just the two of us. Yeah, you watched it when you first... At least, right? Kill Ian. Exactly. Yeah, kill Ian. His name is it's like a sleeper agent directive. You dumped the link. Perfect. See, we're in sync. We're in sync. The worst part though, if you search on YouTube, like just the two of us, the original at the very, very top is like there, which is like annoying. Right? I wanted that one to be at the very, very top. I feel like, like Bill Withers is he's the GOAT, right? But like Chica and Cillian Murphy. And it's so funny because if you read the comments of that video, people think that Cillian Murphy is like a really old like person. And so okay, this is the actual comment where let's see, where's the comment? Wait, it's such a good comment. But the comment was something like, imagine traveling back decades and explaining to him that in the future, hundreds of thousands of people will be listening to his song on a supercomputer with a picture of a Japanese cartoon. As if this isn't Cillian Murphy. Like, they believe that this was just some random old British person, like way in the past. To me, that's the funniest thing that I've ever seen in my entire life. Okay, it's so good. And then, like, some people have like straight up like essays about this. The comparison and contrast between Thomas Shelby and Shiki Fujiwara offer an insightful examination of two vastly different characters from different media sources. Let's like really emphasize them here. Okay, let's just really emphasize them. Okay, only them. The image of the two characters together offers a fascinating contrast as they embody different values, personalities, and attitudes towards life. Yeah, that's the comment. Yes, exactly. Yes. That is the exact comment. That's the exact comment. That's it. It's so funny to me. Like it's like people have made an entire lore dump of this like one image. It's so good. It's so stupid. Oh man, what a great way to start the stream with Chica and Thomas Shelby, right? Who is, by the way, from a really good show that I completely forget the name of. Hold up. Thomas Shelby. Something Razor Blades. Peaky Blinders. Something Razor Blades, I say. It's called Peaky Blinders, yeah. I mean, technically, they like the whole fancy lore is that they had razor blades under that like hat. Honestly, I still think of that show because of how good Tom Hardy and Cillian Murphy are. They're probably two of the best actors they've seen in a long time. Because when you look at all of Tom Hardy's roles, you don't know who he is. Like, I don't know who Tom Hardy is. Same with Cillian Murphy. I don't know who Cillian Murphy is. Did you know, for instance, that Cillian Murphy was in 28 Days Later? The zombie movie. He was the main character in 28 Days Later. I had no fucking clue. You did? I had no clue. Holy shit. You did like that comment too? That's actually funny. I should like these too. Oh, speaking of YouTube comments, one the cyberpunk. So, okay, Let me know if you recognize this like YouTube channel name, okay? I'm just gonna say it. Forest Fire 101. Forest Fire. Oh, listen. This is it. Forest Fire. I'll just take a screenshot of the name, and I feel like a lot of people are gonna recognize this like name. Okay. Wait. Forest. This is gonna be a weird segment to really start with. I hadn't even explained anything. We just went right into like whatever's happening now. Where? Forest Fire. I'll explain things in a bit. Like there's a giant elephant in the room, and I'll get to that. There's a giant. This elephant is stampeding. Forest Fire 101. Okay, I saw that username in the comment section of the Run the Jewels Cyberpunk 2077 music video, which I didn't even know existed. Okay, so did you know they made they contracted, I guess, a bunch of artists to do the songs, like to actually add lyrics and write the songs as if they were in the universe. And I saw that username and I was like, wait, why does that seem so familiar? So I clicked on the channel. It's the duck guy. It's the guy who only does ducks. It's the duck guy. I was like, dude, how are you? I was like, why are you here? I was like, where'd you come from? And now, oh my god, there's a Christmas duck song. Chat, I didn't know that there's a Christmas duck song. I also didn't know that they were doing Lego videos. When did they change from duck song to Legos? you can really tell. So YouTube is a bit interesting, right? You get to really know who your subscribers are. Like I said before, like 40% of my subscribers are there for Sonic. Which by the way, if you type Sonic inside chat and use 7TV, it is the best emote ever. Okay, let me just do it for us. Wait, Sonic. That is amazing, like genuinely amazing. Here, just so people on the stream can see it too. Sonic. This is probably the best image of like a Sonic fan that I've ever seen in my entire life. Yeah, this is just okay. Now, okay, today has gone off the rails. Today has gone off the rails. That's yeah, that's amazing. But yeah, you can really tell like who is subscribed to your channel by what videos get really popular. In this case, everyone subscribes to Forest Fire 101 for their duck songs, so that even when they release a Christmas duck song, it has more views than what looks to be a much harder video to be made, which is a Lego Santa Fireside Favorites. Like, this is a stop-motion masterpiece, it seems like. This is a stop-motion masterpiece. But this only has 19,000 views compared to an MS Paint duck song. Imagine how sad that is. You just know who your viewers are. And so for me, it's 40% Sonic fans. And the other 40% is Incest fans. And it's all because I played the Sonic Detective game and that one game visual novel about incest. Okay? We're gonna need to bump the numbers up. Because 20% of you, I don't know where... Like, we have 1% of Basilisk viewers here. I'm very surprised that there are even Basilisk viewers here. Basilisk 2,000. And one, this one. Good visual novel. It was a good visual novel, yeah. It's actually a really good visual novel. That's the craziest part is I enjoyed it. I enjoyed it so much that I had to lock my door so I never saw my family ever again. Yeah, I can't face my family anymore. I had to emancipate myself. Just to make myself feel like better. But yeah, couple elephants in the room. I've been gone. So, I've been gone for a while. Let's just keep Chica and... I need Chica by my side. I need Chica to be here. Killian Murphy, get out of here. I need Chica by my side so I can talk about the elephant in the room, about why I was gone for so long. Chica, come. Chica, to me! So, it was gone for a while. My apologies. It's been a couple crazy days. And so what happened was, I also got a new mic. This mic is more of an experiment, okay? I got this mainly for instrumentals, but I heard that it's interesting for vocals as well. You may notice, actually, that the lower end of my voice is mostly gone, I think. Let me just listen. Let me just hear. Hello. I can't really tell, actually. No, the low end of my voice is still there. But this should make me sound a lot clearer, right? A lot more clear. So when I say horror stories, so like when we're reading horror stories or we're playing horror games, right? It'll sound like horror instead of horror, right? Horror. Horror. Horror! Where's my TTS? I need my TTS. Where I made this really shitty Okay, so for context, I made this really shitty TTS using Windows' built-in TTS. So if you didn't know, Windows has a built-in TTS thing. It's a Visual Basic script. Horror.
Horror.
There we go. Ted, say it again. Okay, wait. Let's just make him say horror like constantly.
Horror. It
just sounds like he's calling us horrors. No! But yeah, that's why I got this mic. But it was mainly just for instrumentals. But if it sounds better when I go through the recording again, we'll keep it. A lot of things have happened as well while I was gone. Namely the Game Awards. Yeah, exactly. Moonbase alpha vibes. Again, if you've never seen the Moonbase video, it's the funniest video that I've ever seen before. It was like that video made us want to play that game, and so when me and like a couple of friends played it, it was the funniest shit ever. It's just what a masterpiece, because that entire game has text to speech. That was your only way to like talk, and people. So the game Moonbase back then, it was like a very It was a very realistic game about running a moon base on the moon. Nobody played it to play the moon base game. Everyone played it for the text to like speech. So everybody started getting like, I think that's where all the text to speech artisans on the Twitch came from, right? I'm pretty sure they all came from that one game, okay? Because that video still to this day makes me crack up, and I don't know how they did it so well. John Madden, yeah, exactly, John Madden. It's just, I think we just have to listen it. We just have to listen to it together. We just have to listen to it together. We just need to see John Madden. John Madden. Where is it? John Madden. Let me lower the sound. Let me lower the music. The music will have to go down for just a moment. John Madden. Where was it? This one? Here we go. By MotDef. The funniest shit ever. Just like, mind you, this may blow your ears out. The quality is also trash. Oh wait, it's muted. There we go. John Madden. This is it. Ow! Yeah! Ow! Watch party time, exactly.
I'm laughing for real right now.
9999999.
John Madden.
Oh shit! Oh my god! And this video propelled the game into stardom. I'm not even kidding you. This one video made this game so popular.
985 Big American TTS.
Big American TTS. Oh man, what a great video! I hope that this video never fades from people's minds. This video is a masterpiece. And I hope that it always stays, because my god, that's a good man. But yeah, that's basically what I based my text-to-speech off of, was like that one video. So yeah, the mic, if it does sound weird or like different, we'll like fix it up. Another thing that happened while I was gone, again, was the Game Awards, okay? The Jeff Keighley one. The one where some of you were supposed to rush the stage, but I was watching it live. Not a single one of you rushed the stage, even though you registered to rush the stage. Like, look, if I register right now... Fuck. I'm in the sludge jar. God damn it, I'm in the sludge jar. Okay, it's a good thing I didn't finish the the service side of this. So eventually, when you register, very soon, there's a couple of videos that are going to come up on the third channel, because the main channel is, I don't really know what I want it to be for, but definitely not that. The second channel is just games. The third channel is where I'm gonna dump like a bunch of weird videos, like programming stuff. You're gonna see a video soon of me making a spot on my website where you can go and you can see everybody who's there inside of, inside of stick space, okay? So if you're in the human urinal experiment, get ready, because you're gonna be in the human urinal experiment, okay? You're gonna be somebody's gonna be pissing into your mouth. And that's what's gonna happen. But I was watching the Game Awards, and two things stood out to me. Well, 3, 4, 5, a bunch of things. The first one that I can recall off the top of my head, without looking at my notes, was the Hideo Kojima penis light. I don't know why he always does a penis light. I'm pretty sure the first Game Awards he also had like a penis light. Like he illuminated his like caca. That night, I went to go read a webtoon called Windbreaker. Okay, it's a webtoon about bicycles. I don't. That's the wrong way to say it. It's that's not what I meant to say. It's a webtoon about riding bikes in a competitive cycling competition, okay? And the latest episode has them realizing that the main character has a fat cock. So I mean, maybe, and it was the same effect. It used the same VFX, the same light, volume, the same God ray. Okay, in like game VFX terms, it's a God ray. There was a God ray emanating from his cock in both places. So maybe the science is clear. Okay, everyone, if you go outside and you buy a UV light that is at least 10,000 lumens, and you point it directly at your balls, okay? Your cock is gonna be massive. Your cock is gonna be massive. You you may notice that today I've had too much sugar. Some of the things that stood out to me, the Game Awards is getting very big. And gaming gaming has always been like big, right? It's a multi-billion-dollar industry, but it's also now big into like a cultural phenomenon, right? Not just the major games like GTA, but the space in general. To the point where Matthew McConaughey comes up and he says, "All right," and it's like, dude, like what is going on? And then it's a game involving Matthew McConaughey, and the game honestly looks like shit. I'm just gonna say, this game looks like shit, right? I mean, to be fair, if you're paying Matthew McConaughey to voice your game, you're definitely not spending money on your programmers and your game designers to make a fun game. You're just trying to sell that game on a Matthew McConaughey angle. Which was actually most of Sony's games reveals, which is like the weird part. Most of Sony's game reveals there were kind of like weak. I thought actually a lot of the game reveals there were like very, very painfully boring. Like Sony's games were all about like, sorry, also if you hear noises from the mic, I'm getting used to a new mic wind filter, which helps a lot. Actually, let me just make it even closer. Wait, sorry. It helps a lot. It keeps the higher tone of my voice, so I'm still clear, but without getting too like bad. I'm just not used to staying so far away from the mic. I usually I like mic. But yeah, most of Sony's games are like very like, they're trying to go for like an emotional angle, which is like fine. But it's also like, that doesn't really mean anything, right? Like, it's just like, you feel emotion when it's done well. But for them, emotion is something that they force on you, if that makes sense. It reminds me a lot of like, the ways that different stories can be written, right? Like, what's that one book? Wait, I have it on my shelf. This book made me cry. Okay, well, it was on my shelf, but I think I lent it to someone. But I remember the name now. It was 1,000 Splendid Suns, okay? That shit made me cry. Ooh, pizza. Sorry, there was like a piece of crumb on my desk. I ate it. But 1,000 Splendid Suns. That book made me cry. That book was heartbreaking. Because you read about an entire generation, multiple generations of like a group of people who like lost their human rights, who like lost their entire lives through no fault of their own, through that sort of economical principle of you can most predict someone's financial or life success by their zip code, right? By their where they were born, right? And that wasn't written to tug at your heartstrings. That book wasn't written to tug at your heartstrings. When you read the book, you'll get the sense that the way it was written wasn't meant to make you cry. The way the book was written was more of a, somewhat fantastical in the sense of like the characters aren't real, but it was more of a way to say like this is the reality of what people are going through. It read more like a documentary that you witnessed happening at that moment, right? And yet it still brought on emotions despite it not being written to, force emotions onto you. Because that's what good writing is. A lot of Sony's game reveals felt like, oh yes, we're gonna make a game that's gonna force you to feel something. And it's like, cool, but it's like, is the writing any good? Does it stand up on its own? I don't really know. A lot of the games basically just kind of flew under my radar, and I was like, I don't really know if any of it's good. The only one that I was excited for was Final Fantasy VII remake of the God of War roguelike mode, which again, I haven't even played God of War yet, so we gotta do it at some point. People have been asking for it. And also the Final Fantasy 16 something. It was like a Final Fantasy 16 expansion or like something, which also seemed interesting, but again, I haven't played Final Fantasy 16. Again, because of PS4, PS5, it's like $1 million. Also, let me just tune my model again. The mouth isn't tracking well. Track me. Look at me. Look at me, you sick fuck. There we go. But other than that, there were quite a few interesting games, okay? There was the a Big Walk. Sorry, I keep hitting the mic. There was Pony Party 2 by the creator of Pony Party 1, who also happened to be the creator of Inscription. When I know about games, I don't think of the creator, okay? I just know about the game and how like weird they are. And then I find out later, oh wait, it's the same guy who made all of this, right? Like when you look at Inscription and you look at Pony Party 1, it makes sense that they were made by the same person now, right? And now it makes sense that Pony Party 2 is being made by the same dude. And I'm excited for that. There was Kamuri, which I think was that like concept game. It probably won't come out for like a long time. Senware 2 is going to come out. Senware Hellblade I've never played, but I've heard it's like a very good visualization and description of schizophrenia, which I'm very curious about because I feel like I'm schizophrenic. And Alan Wake 2, which it reminded me that it exists. Honestly, if a game isn't on Steam, I don't know that it exists, right? But I've always wanted to play Alan Wake 2, and I forgot that it existed because it's on Epic Games only for some god-awful reason. No Rest for the Wicked. I don't remember why I wrote this down. There's a Visions of Mana. I don't really know what to expect from that. I really enjoyed... I don't remember which one, but it was like the 2D pixel art something Mana game. And it was like the like action RPG, or yeah, like the like real-time combat action RPG one. That one I really enjoyed as a kid, but I haven't played any of the new ones, so I feel like this is a good time to get into it. Also because I do want to do like a JRPG spree at some point. Because I want to do Final Fantasy VII Remake on stream, but I've never played the original Final Fantasy VII all the way through. I just know enough about the story to meme about Aerith dying, right? And I want to know how did she die? Why did she die? When did she die? I want to know these things. I want to bring these things to life. So we're gonna end it there. Rise of the Ronin, which honestly looks fucking sick, and it's by Koei Tecmo and Ninja Theory. Ninja Theory. Do you understand who Ninja Theory is? Fucking Ninja Gaiden or fucking Tenchu. These fucking gods. I've been waiting for a game like that for a long time. And Rise of the Ronin looked like my jam, and I was like, holy shit, I have to play this. So we are for sure gonna get the game. Oh, Hideo Kojima also revealed his horror game. Horror. Thank God. Listen, I finally watched the full video playthrough of PT. That shit looked marvelous. I have a friend who still has it on their PS3, I think. So, I could, boring it might be difficult. But, you know what I mean? Like, I can't believe that they didn't go through with that concept because it is so fucking novel, right? And even the copycats today, I still don't think really match how unsettling that was. Because Hideo Kojima if there's anything that he's good at, it's writing a weird fucking story that has a lot of complexity and a lot more meaning than you would think on the surface level. And it's making a very genuinely good game experience that makes you feel immersive. Like, I thought Death Stranding was like a FedEx experience, and we're not even done. But then we played Death Stranding, and I'm hooked. I can't stop playing it. Like, I can't stop playing Death Stranding. I say that even though we haven't played Death Stranding in 5 months, but we're going to go back to it soon. We're going to go back to FedEx delivery soon, because Death Stranding 2 is also going to come out soon. So we gotta figure this out. There are too many games. There are way too many games that are on the list. But OD, I'm hoping, is what he wanted to do with PT. Obviously, I don't think Guillermo del Toro is going to be there, because now he has fucking was it Peele? He is Jordan Peele. Fucking Jordan Peele, okay? Listen. Guillermo del Toro is a very well-known director. Jordan Peele is a very well-known horror movie writer. His horror movies are fucking fantastic because they're not like horror in like a traditional way. They're a very sort of like different kind of horror movie, and they all slap in their own way, right? I use slap in like the good way, right? They're so good, and to see him there with it, I was like, holy shit. Now I didn't really pay attention to what they were saying. He may have just been there for show, and he may not actually be working on the game, but I hope he is working on the game. I just didn't really listen because I just honestly, most of the Game Awards, I'm not kidding you, 99% of Jeff Keighley's Game Awards was like ads, and then, you know, like slapping video for like Ant-Man, like ads. My theory is that the Game Awards is a way for Jeff Keighley to collect a fat check because E3 is gone, right? E3 is gone. The Game Awards doesn't have to have like a convention floor. He leaves that for like, you know, PAX and like stuff like that to like do. What he does is he puts on a show that is 5% content and like 95% ads. He's a bit like your average Twitch stream today, right? Or your average YouTube video today, with all the ads just showing up constantly. I was watching someone like on my Twitch last night. I got 4 minutes of ads after watching them for maybe like 5 minutes. 4 minutes of ads. It was literally 90% of my total watch time on that channel up until the ads appeared. And I was like, what is going on today? And that's the norm. And guess what? Makes him money. Makes him a lot of money. And there was also some Blade game. Well, I don't know if it was actually called Blade, but like, you know, Blade, the vampire Blade. I fucking loved that movie because it's so goddamn bloody and like gory. And that movie was very fun to like watch, right? I like Blade as a character too because like he's a like I like vampires. I'm ashamed to say that. Yeah, I like vampires. Could you tell? I blame reading the series of books called The Adventures of Darren Shan as a kid. Oh, sorry, the saga of Darren Shan here. This shit was my jam, okay? The saga of Darren Shan. This shit was my jam for so fucking long. And I'm very ashamed to admit that because like it is like the edgy teen book. And it also includes like vampires. But that Blade game looked fantastic. Just for, it had no gameplay, right? But I feel like anything Blade you can't go wrong with, especially since there are two genres of games that are very sort of like lacking in like content: the vampire games that aren't visual novels and zombie games that aren't visual novels, right? And I include the Walking Dead games as a visual novel. Okay, listen, they're visual novels through and through. Okay, to me, those are two of the genres that are very underdeveloped. I feel like there's a lot of ways that it could be done well, but we saw one recently that was done poorly, which I'll get into in just a moment as well. There was The Last Sentinel, as well as The First Descendants. I don't know why they keep naming it like this. Like, why does everybody use the last and the first in all of their like game names, right? You know what I mean? Like Journey to the West or something is like a great name, right? Or like, you know, State of Decay, right? Like that's a really cool like name. But then you will hear the last sentinel, the first sentence, and it's like, what? As well as Den of Wolves, which seemed interesting, even though it was just like a constant thing. Again, it was a lot of like Sony's, or like, you know, a lot of their like emotional kind of trailer. They hit you with a piano note, and then they hit you with this idea, and then they say, feel something, feel fun, feel fucking cool, man. And it's like, you know what would be really cool? Is if you showed us fucking gameplay. I don't know why they don't show us like just gameplay of the games. But that was all that I really cared about at the Game Awards. Again, it was 95% ads. Oh, they also got Gonzo on. They got a bunch of like random like bands on, but Gonzo was really cool. There was also that like one for Senua 2, where they were just like, you know, banging on like drums and like stuff, and I was like, yo, fucking sick. Was that Gonzo? I don't know. One of them was like Gonzo, one of them wasn't. I was watching this while like half asleep, mind you. But that's all that really like stood out to me at the Game Awards. It felt like more of the same. And it's fascinating watching the Game Awards show because like I watch it and every year I'm disappointed that I spent 4 hours watching it, right? Because 4 hours was like 95% ads, and most of the ads again don't show any gameplay. They just show cinematics. And I'm like, I don't give a fuck about cinematics. Like, show me a game. Like, show me what like happens in this game. How fun will it be to play? Because I feel like, again, most of your time is going to be spent playing the game. Even a game that is heavily story focused, like a visual novel, just show you the story with the game play, like of you clicking the buttons. And I feel like that would be a much better representation of what your game is going to be like for everyone in the vault, right? I feel like cinematic trailers are kind of the most misleading kind of trailer compared to any other media out there, right? Movie trailers, for instance, are usually cut from the same cloth, right? They cut the movie trailers usually from clips from the same movie. Some directors sort of changed this up. I can't remember who now. Maybe it was Stanley Kubrick. I don't know. Stanley Kubrick, or no, probably not. No, it was Christopher Nolan, I think. The trailers for his movies, I think, they're cut from an entirely different set of clips. So they, it's like the cutting room floor clips. It's the clips that didn't make it into the final movie, and they use those to cut the trailers with, right? But that's far and few between, and even those are still representative of the final project, right? Because just because the clip, just because they threw away a certain clip during the editing stage and they use it as a trailer only one, doesn't mean that it wasn't actually made to fit the story in the first place. In the editing room, it's a very different experience. You're cutting something to fit like a very specific like a theme, right? You're cutting something for pacing. You're cutting something for, you know, detail. When you're filming something based on the lore, based on the entire ethos of it, right? If that makes sense. Obviously, this like, you know, depends and it changes. Like you're not gonna get the same sort of like cutting experience from like a. You're not gonna get the same filming experience for like a. I was gonna say a Barbie movie, but like now that we have a good now that there's a good Barbie movie, it's like I can't say Barbie anymore. But the old ones were really fucking awful, like the animated ones. What's a movie? I don't know. Like a Gremlins movie, right? When they film a Gremlins movie, they could be filming fucking anything, and you toss a gremlin in the corner, and you add one jump scare, and you're good, right? But like Christopher Nolan movie or like something. Again, this guy's been on my mind for obvious reasons. Matthew McConaughey and stuff. You end up with this a set of clips that is like very much built around this entire lore that they're trying to build up within the movie, right? And like, that's why I feel like movie trailers can never really mislead you. No matter what the person says, you see the clips and you're like, oh yeah, like it could be interesting. Or you see the clips and you're like, oh, this seems like this is the entire movie, right? Like the trailer is the entire movie. And then you see certain trailers, like I remember seeing the trailer for Tenet, and I was like, I don't know what the fuck is going on. The car is going backwards. There's a time element, but there's not a time element. And then there's the guy from Twilight, who is also the guy from The Lighthouse with, you know, fat cock Willem Dafoe. And I was like, what the fuck is going on, right? Movie trailers are very, very good at, you know, showing what's like going to happen without necessarily misguiding you about what's like going on. Cinematic trailers for games is what happens when you do the opposite of what I said. It is when you say, okay, I want you to direct something that makes players feel a certain thing. That way they buy our game. It is directed for a purpose, and that purpose is to market and to sell, right? It is as if you filmed something specifically for a movie trailer. It is as if you did a Mike Diva video, right? Like a 30-second bumper ad video, specifically for a game that showed nothing about the game. I hate modern day game trailers for that reason. They're completely different from the actual game. They show nothing about it. The cinematic trailer only touches on the storyline, but the storyline is as good as dead if the game fucking sucks. This is the main thing that I think game developers still don't understand. Nobody buys a game for the story unless it's a visual novel. And that's because visual novel players like me, we're brain dead. Our brains have been rotted. We play games about incest. What do we care about the gameplay? But regular game players, most of your game's players are spending 99% of their time playing the game. I guarantee you there is a much larger subsection of the world that skips through cutscenes and actually sits through them. And most people who just sit through them, I guarantee you use that time to go get a coffee. Or go get like a snack. How many times have you gotten up during a cutscene in the game and said, oh, feeling kinda hungry? You go to the kitchen, grab some chips, and you say, oh, you know what? I should heat up some pizza. Grab your leftover pizza, and you heat it up, and then you look at the fridge, you're like, oh, wait, I forgot to get some groceries for next week. So you go to the grocery store, and you come back and your character's dead, because you were just like standing there in the middle, because after the cutscene, it's like a horde mode moment. Always happens. And that's most of your game's players, okay? Storyline doesn't matter if the gameplay sucks. Unfortunately, that's how it goes unless you're a visual novel. But because of that, game trailers, cinematic ones, like fucking awful. They basically ruin the entire intent of a game. The only game that I actually thought a cinematic trailer, or the only set of games I thought cinematic trailers did it justice for, was a Death Stranding 1, 2, as well as the OD trailer, okay? The OD video that we saw at the Game Awards was so fucking weird. And yet the moment that you see Hideo Kojima walk out, you just know that, okay, this is gonna be a banger. Like, you just know. But even that trailer was shot so well that like, that wasn't a cinematic trailer, right? But it felt like like that was a cinematic trailer done well. Because that cinematic trailer told you everything that you needed about the game, sans what it would actually play like, right? There was no gameplay in it, but it told you everything that you need to know about the game besides the gameplay. Right? In a way that I think like worked well. Because again, when you see that shot of her like over time, right? And like the way it's layered, I probably can't show it. To me, it's a bit of a cinematic masterpiece here. You have this person sitting in a chair and she says things and she's feeling good, and then every single time it cuts back to her, she feels more and more unsettled, right? And there's someone talking to her, and then you see the reflection of the door opening in her eyes. And she fucking screams this guttural, inhuman scream. She's like, ah! You're like, holy shit. I need this game. Exactly. Man can sell my literal garbage and I'll eat it up. Exactly. Dude, he could be out there right now going through my trash bin. Not the garbage, not the recycling. He's going through the organics, right? He unbags that shit. Rifles his hand right through it, right? He doesn't even go to the very top where there's at least some fresh food where I can maybe still eat it if I'm really hungry. No, he goes to the he goes to the bottom. He goes to the bottom. That's what a compost is. That's where shit has been like, breaking down, rotting into like, an entirely different form. He pulls it up and says something, I don't know, we need Google Translate. Google Translate. Okay, this is gonna sound funny because, so, okay, for context, Google Translate actually does the accents too. So, let me explain. Google Translate does the accents. Okay, let me just explain. This is gonna be a weird segment, okay? This is all related. Remind me if I forget what we're talking about. Google Translate does accents. I have a video that is literally called Google Translate does a racist. But I was scared to upload it because I don't want people to think that I'm racist. So I'm gonna upload it later when I have different videos to put on my channel. Like, I'm gonna do programming videos and then upload the video Google does the racist. Because then it's like, okay, like, he's not racist, he just recognizes the funny, right? But I don't want people to think that I'm not racist. I'm not racist. But this is Google Translate does accents.
Key.
So you can do it. And look, man can sell my literal garbage, and I'll eat it up. Fuck! I clicked back. Sorry. Man can sell my literal garbage. Man can sell my literal garbage, and I'll eat it up. You may notice that the language is set to Korean, but I write inside English. Do you know why? Korean accent, baby.
Man can sell my literal garbage and I'll eat it up. Man can sell my literal garbage and I'll eat it up.
Why? Why does it do this? So I imagine Hideo Kojima walking up to me and saying, Nick said, this is for you. This is my greatest creation. It is personalized to who you are, and I wish it to pass through your body into the rest of the world. It is the first intestinal-type game.
スティックさん、This is for you. This is my greatest creation. It is personalized to who you are and I wish it to pass through your body into the rest of the world. It is the first intestinal-type game. スティックさん、This is for you. This is my greatest creation. It is personalized to who you are and I wish it to pass through your body into the rest of the world. It is the first intestinal-type game.
So yeah, that's that's how I expect it to go when Hideo Kojima is going through minor trash. That's exactly what I expect him to say. The first intestinal-type game. Intestinal-type game. As he goes through my fucking organics, he goes to the bottom and picks up all the fucking sludge at the bottom and says, "Eat this shit up." Oh, that's good. Oh, that's fucking good. I don't know why Google Translate does so many accents. It's so good. It is so good. Wow. But yeah, that to me is the sign of a good cinematic trailer, right? Those two trailers, as well as the trailer for Death Stranding, like, again, it's not because Death Stranding doesn't have gameplay, right? But the gameplay is so tied to the story that you can't walk away from it. And the gameplay, there is nothing to prepare you for how good the gameplay is in Death Stranding. There's nothing to prepare you for how good the gameplay is in PT. Hideo Kojima reminds me of kind of like a luminary, or like a visionary, right? An innovator in terms of like, you know, what mechanics can just work. It's like a weird game too to like make, because like you see other games that come out after it that sort of do that, like the delivery company co-op game, right? And like you can really tell like that a lot of what that game does, like it feels a lot like Death Stranding, but co-op, with a lot less difficulty and a lot less interesting bits, right? And then but it's like nothing can prepare you for what it feels like. No video can possibly explain how good it is. And so a cinematic trailer for that stuff both makes sense, and also the way that he cuts and he films them, it tells you it is the least misleading trailer. And it's not, maybe it is because those games barely have any gameplay, but to me that gameplay was fantastic. But you know what game didn't have fantastic gameplay? Something the day after or something. Was it Zombie Game shut down 6 days? There we go. The day before, sorry. the day before. Now, zombie games get like a very sort of bad rep in general, and this doesn't really help. There's an article by The Verge, which I need to reset this. Sorry, give me one moment. There we go. By The Verge. Don't mind my tabs. I'm researching games. Many games. I found a bunch of like slop from someone else that I watch. But the day before shutting down, just days after launching the anticipated MMO. Now the studio also made Prop Night. So if you don't know Prop Night, it was also a game about. It was also a stolen game concept. It was just a stolen game concept. Prop Night was a stolen game concept from Gmod, but also before that from Counter-Strike. So Counter-Strike just had that mode before Gmod. I think. I'm pretty sure it was a mod in Counter-Strike before they made it inside Gmod. I think. Although it was mostly popularized from Gmod, because that was when I saw people playing it a lot. But basically, it was a game about hiding as some object, and you get to find them on the map. This was a zombie. Why did they use an ass shot? Why did they use such a giant ass shot? Why? Holy shit! She's packing heat. Anyways, yeah, there's a zombie. The trailer for it was the best looking trailer that I've ever seen. It showed gameplay, so this is the other side of the coin. Well, even if you show gameplay, it could still be misleading. Okay? No, I'll get to sort of what the common thread is here in just a moment. The trailer that they showed was a very cool, sleek, sort of like gritty. I fucking hate that word because it's used everywhere now. Oh yeah, Last of Us 2. Are you ready for a gritty game experience? Are you ready to shit your pants in the wild? You ready to have a bear eat your intestines like fucking spaghetti noodles? Yeah, that's Last of Us 2, baby. But that's it became Steam's most wish-listed game, okay? Or one of them. And it was so cool looking that it gave me hope. Because the zombie genre has had a giant drought of games, okay? The only good zombie games, in my opinion, are Project Zomboid and State of Decay 2. And Left 4 Dead. That's it. Left 4 Dead 1 and 2 by extension. Project Zomboid, State of Decay 2. 3 games! 3 games. Oh, Cataclysm DDA, but like that's a roguelike, and I don't know how to explain that game. We're gonna play it on stream one day, because that game is fucking wild. But other than those 4 games, the zombie genre hasn't had any like real interesting things, right? There's been a couple of attempts, like Dead Frontier 1 and 2, which is like a very old MMO browser game, and then it became like a 3D action shooter game. It's pretty shit. But I still like to play it because I'm addicted, you know. But for the most part, the entire and Unchurned, but that was more of a Minecraft game than anything, and it eventually became like a DayZ, where you were just like doing stuff, and DayZ and stuff. It eventually became like a PvP game. The idea of a zombie MMO seems so fascinating because it's like that to me seems like a very interesting premise, right? How do you turn Left 4 Dead style? How do you turn like a Left 4 Dead style game into like an MMO experience that like feels correct, right? And it reminds me of like how zombie media plays up this like horde of zombies. Like in World War Z, the movie, which is completely different from the book. The book has no ending and the movie has an ending, but the movie showed this horde of zombies climbing the wall, right? And they go over and they're like pouring in and like stuff. And it's so fascinating to like see all these like, you know, different medias, or even 28 days later, 28 weeks later, seeing entire civilizations fall and that looming threat, right? It makes you really want some kind of game in that universe where players can work together to like play with it. And like, you know, it just fits like the mood, like seeing our modern day world like collapse, right? And you know, Last of Us was technically a zombie game, but not really too. They had their own type of zombie, but it's like a genre that I like. Basically, what I wanted was Last of Us, but like more of it in like a more open setting, right? Imagine like a much larger Last of Us experience that was less focused on a single narrative thread and more focused on the entire gameplay experience and like a mythos. So not a plot thread, but a mythos, an entire like story lore, right, of a world. This game fucking crashed and like burned, okay? So this game launched. The trailer was completely misleading. It was a lobby extraction shooter that had a max of 32 players. There were so little players that most of your enemies were bots. It was basically just an asset flip. And there's another article that came out recently of the Fantastic, which is the game studio's CEO, talking about how they called all their employees volunteers. Volunteers! I was like, what the fuck? And he wasn't joking. He wasn't joking. They were actually volunteers, okay? The volunteering was legit. They actually got unpaid volunteers from the community to help them develop the game. And I was like, dude, how is that possible? And it's still garbage. Like, how do you get free, cheap labor that's basically... I'm just gonna say it, it's basically slave labor, right? If you do work for the love of God, get paid for it. Because otherwise, you're being taken... Don't volunteer for a fucking company. That's fucking stupid. How do you have all of that? Your game is still fucking garbage, right? It was so bad and filled with so many bugs that the game shut down just 4 days after. Well, the game's gonna shut down in February, but the studio shut down just 4 days after. I don't know if it's like a reputation play, because Prop Night was a disaster as well, but they didn't shut it down, and they actually tried to update it with like monetization options, but at least they updated it with like something, right? They tried to make money out of it. I don't know if it's because they ran out of money, although I imagine that they might have, but even then it seems implausible. What I think it was more of a play of like, okay, well we fucked up, no one's gonna trust the game from us ever again. And this is very much in contrast to, oh yeah, I forgot Sean Murray at the Game Awards, when he started once again overhyping his like shit. Yep. But also because No Man's Sky is finally done building its proc-gen system after 10 years, and so they're finally building like a game on top of it. Finally, the procedural generation in No Man's Sky is done being built, and now they're making a game out of it. Who could have guessed that? But Sean Murray went up on stage and started hyping it, and Hello Games is now the poster child for what a failed game launch could eventually end up like, as long as you keep working on it. Very clearly, Fantastic didn't want to go down that route, maybe because they couldn't afford it or because they didn't think that they could. And let's just face it, some people just can't, right? Some groups just can't, no matter how many people are in there, no matter if there's even one good person there, if the entire organization isn't gonna do it, then it's impossible, right? So they shut it down. I'm sad that games like this keep coming out, because the amount of scam games that come out feels painful to see, and it feels painful to see them get so much hype. Because, how do I say this? The creator of Slime Rancher, I think was the game, Monomi Park, I think he was the founder. He went up and he was talking about how no matter what game it is, every game competes for a player's time and attention. And he repeated that line 3 times when he said, he was like, your game, because he has a very soft voice. His voice is like fucking butter, and I fucking love his voice. There's a voice economy when you give talks at like conferences. Your game is competing for your players' time and attention. Time and attention. Time and attention. And I was like, God, yeah, I keep on saying it. But he's correct. And when he says that, he goes on to explain, like, it doesn't matter if your games are 2 different genres, right? Sure, you may not have an overlap in terms of the people who are there, but the people who are playing that game don't have time to play your game. So you need something to get people enticed into playing your game. He was there specifically to talk about how they marketed Slime Rancher and how to make it like a large thing. And he talked about, the whole, on-demand gift-taking feature, which again is fucking genius. More games should have that. But that advice, it was at GDC as well. GDC 2018, 2016? I don't know, something like that. And it was, it's a talk that stayed with me, right? Because when shitty games like this both get the hype early on, and then come out and then like die, all that time, another game that deserved that attention could have taken that spot. Like all this time, I wish more people knew about State of Decay 2. Right? It's not the best game ever, but State of Decay 2 is a hell of a greater zombie game than the day before. And the best part is, it even has PvP-like elements. Like, you can just shoot your friends if you really want to. But you also shoot, like, other humans in a game, which, it's not what you do in real life, but I can see why you do it. It's fun. I should say that, sorry. But when a game like this gets all that attention, no one pays attention to anything else. Everyone's just like waiting for this. Everything else feels almost like not worth it. And when the hype dies, no one even remembers these other games because it's too late. All these other games have like basically died. They've left the cultural sort of like, social fabric. The world has forgotten them. Nobody remembers them. And because they didn't have enough time to like grow and like blossom, they had to shut down. Good studios, good games, not just zombie games too. A lot of other smaller games as well. They just die. Not enough eyes on them. And the moment when this dies, and then all the players scatter, and they're like, okay, well, what do I play now? I don't know. They go to find other games, and they find whatever they like. Some may explore their new genres, others may stay within the same genre. And the select few go back to Destiny 2 because they're sadists or they're masochists. It depends on where you are on the dev team ladder. I feel bad whenever games like this come out. And that's exactly why. It just takes up so much attention from people's, mindscape. There's not enough room for everything. And it sucks too because, like, again, it kind of ruins the idea of a zombie game. Like, next time people see a zombie game specifically, and they see open world zombie MMO, they're gonna think, oh fuck, cash grab. Because up until now, if you Google zombie survival MMO, I shouldn't do that live on stream. Every single game is a cash grab. Every single one. The only one that isn't is Urban Dead. And that game is fucking ass. It's fucking ass. It's made in 2005. I played that shit as a kid. It's fucking awful. And it's unfortunate. Because now that entire sort of like space is ruined. That whole genre tagline is like ruined. Even if it's a really good game like Uncharted, for instance, it'll never work ever again. What a disaster. Speaking of Destiny 2 as well, they've been going over more and more of their crazy things. So Destiny 2 recently laid off their QA team, 10% of the QA team, because to them they didn't consider QA teams to be like a dev resource. That is the dumbest shit I've ever heard in my entire life. I can't tell you how many times I have pushed for companies that I've worked at to get a QA team. So for context, my history is I'm a developer. That may be like wild to hear, or maybe not. It like if you know software developers of any kind, whether they're game developers or like not, you know that all of them are kind of interesting in some way, right? Very interesting. It's either you wear programming socks or you're a furry. Like that's really, there's only two ways that you can go, and I'm not a furry, so you know what socks I got on right now, okay? They're very colorful and they're very warm. It's cold outside. But I used to be a programmer. I used to be a business line programmer. And I moonlighted as a game dev, like just doing fun little projects under an entirely different name, for obvious reasons. I like to do experimental stuff under different names. I'm never gonna tie them together, but I'm planning to do stuff under this name eventually. I fought at every single company to get a QA team. Every single time. Because the amount of time that goes into QA, the amount of time that goes into figuring out what to test things on, is immense. And it takes forever to actually figure out what to even test and what to even look for, okay? It is so complex that it is basically a full-time job for one single developer on your team when they could be implementing things, right? That's why you need a QA team, because they act as your check and balance team for, like, both the obvious things and the non-obvious things. It's not to say that you as a developer aren't testing your own thing, right? You as a developer, obviously, like, and I don't mean tests just as in like TDD, like test-driven development. You're writing like, code tests. I also mean like, testing as in like, testing it on like the actual platform and stuff. Obviously, as a developer, you're still doing that, but the QA team helps you guide you towards happy resolutions much, much quicker. And they help surface issues much, much sooner. And so when the Destiny 2 team wrote that, I was gobsmacked, okay? Even when I wasn't working at a healthcare company, even when I wasn't working at like a very huge company, even when I was working at a, a very basic logistical food company, right? Just the useless bullshit that like didn't affect anyone's life, basically. Like it wasn't even like, grocery store food. It was like a food value add item, basically, right? That's the best way to say it without doxing myself. I still wanted the QA team because even our, basically useless application and the website. Because why would you have an app when you have a website for something that isn't very like common? Or why would you don't download a random app for one single thing that you use maybe once a month? But even for that, there were still too many permutations to even figure out what was going on. On top of the fact that we needed to work with, internal systems as well. Like a logistical team, you had to work with, like carrier APIs, like, FedEx or UPS or whatever the fuck, right? Then we had to do it for like America and Canada. So it's like, how do you test those things? How do you test that a truck is not getting the wrong time and the wrong destination? We don't know. That's why you need a QA team. Even for something like that only has internal business pain points, we still wanted a QA team. Because it's simply too much to do it as a single developer team. To do it all by yourself. But Bungie, or whoever is developing Destiny 2. I don't remember if it's Bungie or Team 236 or something like that, or 365 or 24/7, 7-Eleven. Fuck you, right? They decided that QA teams aren't a part of the dev team, so they laid them off. I'm like, why? That to me says like, it's a very business-minded decision. It's also very telling like how badly it's been going for them, right? Destiny 2 has always had the issue of like every expansion that they sell is like a Sims 4 expansion. Like if you total, actually, I can do it now. If I go on Steam and I go and I add every single Destiny 2 game to my carts, absolutely brilliant. If I add everything to my cart, like everything, it is $1,000. $1,000 fucking dollars. And that's not even just cosmetics, okay? It literally isn't even cosmetics. It's content. It's content to play in the game, but content that only lasts you 2 to 3 hours. It's $20 each for 2 to 3 hours each. Clearly they're having money issues because this model doesn't sell anymore. I wonder why it doesn't sell. And so they take it out on people who, basically had no fault of it. And I don't know why they always do this. Game companies always do this. I can't wait until the day when game companies sort of like realize that, hey, maybe you should get rid of some of the heads. Some of the heads are probably not doing it well, I think. Some of the heads are probably ruining the entire experience, basically. And I wonder when a game company is willing to sort of like take them out. Even for Blizzard, for instance, Bobby Kotick went away like way after on his own, and he wasn't even the like head. Unity 3ID finally got rid of like John Riccatello, but even he wasn't the only head, right? You also have the shareholders and the people on the board of directors. It'll never end until you get like a group of people in who actually care about the like product. That's why, for instance, WoW players are very happy that Chris Metzen is like back, because Chris Metzen can actually maybe bring it all back. It's just funny to see actually looking at this, like my preview. I haven't been staring at my preview. I basically never. It's in the corner of my eye. I am staring at the camera, holding this currywurst is cold. It is frozen. Okay, the ketchup on there, it's fucking ice. All right. I'm walking around ranting to myself live on stream. A bunch of Japanese people are just staring at me like, oh my god, this guy's going fucking crazy. Every Japanese person around me is gonna use me as a reason why they don't want foreigners in Japan. It's what I imagine that's like. Also, because I bring that up because I was also watching a video from Chris Abroad in Japan, who was talking about like all the shitty people going to Japan and like causing trouble, and I was like, why would you do that in like any place? Like I don't know why people act a fool IRL and like make other people's lives miserable. At least if you're neutral, then it's fine, right? If you're just there in like public, then it's a public space. You're free to do anything that you want because it's your space as much as anybody else's space because you pay for it. But to do literal crimes, to actually like bother people, to like break rules and like cause mayhem, it just seems so stupid to me. And to pay like a multi-$1,000 ticket to go to Japan to do that, it's like no wonder people don't want foreigners there, right? Like it's just like goddamn. And like, dude, like it's funny to me too because people think that like people in Japan are some mystical sort of like it's like a mystical place, and like Japanese people are like a mystical sort of like group of people. They're just people trying to live like lives, right? So if you put yourselves into their shoes, you're just trying to go to work on like time, and some asshat decides to start screaming on the like subway. It's like, dude, what the fuck is going on, right? That's basically me right now. Not like IRL, but like right now in the like preview. Man. Thankfully, that's all that we had to talk about today. Oh, there was also a couple of other game updates, actually. There was a new Thief mod that came out recently called The Black Parade, which I'm very curious to try out. It's for the original Thief. I'm gonna try it. There was also a new trailer for Stalker 2 that came out while I think just as I started my extended break. Which again, Stalker 2, I'm so excited for. There's also been, I think, more delays on the Vampire Masquerade 2 game. Which again, it's fair. I can't wait till the game fully comes out because like that game also, I'm like waiting for it. But other than that, there wasn't actually much that like happened, right? For the most part, it was like a very sort of like quiet time in like news. There wasn't very many crazy things. Things have been mostly going normally, I think, at least for the things I cared about to like bring up on the stream. So, but some interesting things did come out of the Game Awards, which we're going to be playing later. Okay, later today. There's a Lego Fortnite. Okay, that's gonna be one of the games that we're playing today. But we're gonna jump into the games now. But the first game that I want to play is a game that I saw on sale. So I'll get into what the game is the moment when we start it. While Generation Zero is also starting, my wife got me a giant container of Nestea powder. So if you don't know, Nestea sells the powder, like the actual powder that they used to make the like Nestea. This thing is my crack. I have had so many cups of Nestea that I'm peeing out like green tea and sugar. It is so good. And the best part is, the amount of value that you get from this one pack is like more than buying like the whole 30 pack of like cans. And you get so much of it, and you can make it as hot or as cold as you like. Although anybody who drinks Nestea hot, you probably deserve to be taken out to the back and pow. But it tastes absolutely delicious. Hey man, can you get out? Can you get out the way? You're in the way of the camera. Thank you, God. So inconsiderate. By the way, the person who filmed this like Tokyo Walk is a very kind old person. They actually post all these videos for free up on Pexels. So if you search up Tokyo Walk, you'll find where this video is from. He basically allows you to use them without even attributing them. Hey, Featherus! Yo! Welcome back. Welcome back. Long time no see. Sorry about that. We're also waiting for a game to... Sorry. This just the game is still launching, so I'm just rambling at the moment. But hey, how are you? I'm good. How are you? How's the class been? You're done finals now, right? Like, are you like done? Because like, man, everyone that I knew that was on like finals, it's like seeing zombies like being like brought back to like life. Like seeing people like, you know, come back to life. It's like, I can live again. And then like everyone's messaging me to like play like games and stuff. Is like, whoa, where were you guys for the past like year? School. That's where everyone was. School. 3 to 4 presentations. Oh Jesus, and then 3 tests. Yeah, okay. That's why I never went to school. And I'm not saying that you shouldn't drop. I'm not saying that you should drop out of school. I'm saying you should stay in school. Don't trust me on this. Like, I'm streaming because I have no other option. I'm just kidding. But I'm streaming because, you know, like, you stay in school. This is exhilarating. It's exhilarating. We're just walking around Tokyo with some currywurst in your hand. This is the last week. Wait, holy shit! You guys do 3 or 4 presentations in a single week? I hated school presentations so much because I would feel so nervous. Okay, I've done one presentation in university as well, and it's like insanely. I remember standing at like when you're in an auditorium, it's very different from being inside of a classroom. And a university auditorium is like massive, and I was terrified for my life. And I was presenting to people who were way older than like me because I took it early. Yeah, the secret is to act like you don't care. Yeah, but then like I'm not cool enough to pull like off. And the seasoned fries is currywurst. So currywurst is a mix of is a German snack. I only found this out when I was playing Euro Truck Simulator, and some other people told me about it. It's sausages. So sausage. So like a bratwurst. German sausages, which is like, you know, really good, crunchy fries, and curry powder on top of ketchup. It apparently tastes really good, and I photoshopped it and I was like, we might as well use it. It's also a very good POV. I didn't take this photo. I just took it from someone, but it was copyright free, so it's fine. Yeah, you feel that for sure, exactly. Because the big room is like scary, right? Because you're just in the middle of it, and you're like, oh my god, like what do you do? It's weirdly delightful, right? I was thinking of like adding more to the scene, but I feel like just like walking around, just hanging out in like Tokyo, and just having like a nice Christmas vibe is like fun. But guess what? The game has started, so we can finally move over to the game. Before we move on to the next game, there's something that I do want to check out, because you guys sent some links that we should probably check out. So the first thing that we're going to go down in like order, okay? Yeah, you can't see me because Sonic is in the way. Sonic is in the way. We're gonna watch some Katy Perry singing Simlish. I don't know what that means, but we have Chica here to guide us to it. Right, Chica? Yeah, I'll be here to help you guide you through it, yeah. Okay, thanks, Chica. Cool. Stay in the corner. Go. Get down now! We'll do some Katy Perry Simlish. We'll see what this is all about. Katy Perry Simlish. I don't know what this is. And I don't even know what to expect from this. So, fair warning, this could be the craziest thing that we've ever heard. You can't see anything yet. I'm still doing that, sorry. But I really don't know what to expect. Now, if you don't know Simlish, okay, Simlish is the bastardization of English that is within The Sims 4. Well, all Sims, actually. All the Sims games. The Sims 3 EA music, there's an entire manual that's actually given to the Sims voice actors. So if you don't know, when you do voice acting stuff, they give you a manual. They usually just give you a script, right? But no, the Simlish voice actors get like a manual of what each word in Simlish means. And apparently there's a song sung by Katy Perry in it. Let's just listen to it.
But it's a phobia, nope. But it's a phobia, nope.
This is the stupidest thing ever.
But it's a phobia, nope.
Last Friday night in Simlish.
But it's a phobia, nope.
This is the worst thing ever.
Wara ufa monarex.
Monarex.
Perbidex.
Perbidex.
Perbidex. Wara ufa monarex. Yarba denzel table dupes.
Yarba table denza dupes. Is there like a lyrics? How is she staying so serious? Actually.
Yarmy denzel table dupes. Hippie duka mimi shoops. Hippie keeps the upper goop. Yarmy denzel table dupes. Hippie duka mimi shoops.
Simlish lyrics. This is the best thing ever. Oh my god. His lyrics. His lyrics.
We must stick it in a park.
We must stick it in a park. We must stick it. We must stick it in a park. Wait, there's Ukrainian in Simlish? Is there actually like a different language in like each like Simlish thing where Ukrainian Simlish? Like Simlish in other languages. Oh, Fruby knew. I speak Simlish. Okay, Jacksepticeye. How the language from Sims? Oh my god, is it the same words? Oh man, I wish somebody did like a compilation of them, because this is insane to me. I would not be able to keep a straight face. I would have cracked instantly. I would have instantly cracked and just be like, what is going on? It's like the lyrics are fucking... Chat, the lyrics don't make any fucking sense. The lyrics... Dina Hana shower tarp. Last Fruby Noop. Yarma Tinkabuki Yao. Aoi Sibago Nastao Wow Wo. Topi Nukan. Sims was based on some languages. Wait, really? I thought it was like nonsense. It just sounds like like nonsense. There's also a TikTok that we got as well. Again, I'm gonna watch like a quick second of it by myself. Make sure it's safe, because you never really know. You never really know what's going to pop up. This is not against you. It's just a safety thing, because you never really know. It's also just better to do it that way. So we'll do this. There was one TikTok as well, which is about the words, right? Yeah, it's about English or eats. Wait, it's one of the slideshow TikToks. I've seen these. Okay, one thing that so on TikTok, I really hate how they have the slideshow TikToks, because it feels impossible to like actually. I was like, I don't want to do the work to see the content almost, right? I hate them because like I wish that someone else would just do it for me. Because a video is just a slideshow, but that's like really fast, right? It's a slideshow that plays automatically. Whereas this one, you have to stop. No one talks to you. You just see it. So there's English eats, ate, eaten, eating, eats. Ukrainian. Holy fuck. You use all of those? What do you mean you use all of those? You said, okay, when you said 44, like I didn't realize how much that was. And I didn't realize how different some of these are. Because you can just tell based on the spelling that a lot of these are very different even. And the fact that like you have like 6 different categories. Holy hell. I wouldn't even know, like, is it like, do you find it difficult to remember? Or is it very, like, because you know how like some languages have like a system? And like each language has its own system. Can you tell what to use based on your language's system? Or do you just know based on experience of having used it for a long time? If that makes sense. Because some languages are like tonal based. Other languages are based on like, you know, a system of like genders, like in French or in Spanish. And then English is just like, well, whatever you like want. It's whatever you want, really. Just say whatever. Listen, we have the word zooted inside English, okay? There's no reason for zooted to like that. There is all times, all of it, all the like time. Holy moly! Oh, so you guys also have the idea of like, yeah, genders changing the like form of the word too. Okay, damn, that's a lot to remember. I've been wanting to learn more languages because I was inspired by that guy on YouTube. He's in New York City. He speaks really good. I forget which flavor it was, but you know, Chinese. He just speaks really good Chinese. And he goes around New York, always surprising people with his very, very fluent mastery of the language. At least my friends have like said he's like very, 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 very fluent. And it's fascinating videos to like watch because like not only is it like a fun party trick, but you also get to actually like interact with like people that you normally wouldn't be able to. And you allow them to be as complex as they want within their language to explain who they are, right? I had this trouble actually with my parents. So my parents and I, we don't, like, it's not that we don't talk, it's that we can't talk. It's one of those things where it's like, it's very hard to explain to each other in like ways that we understand, right? And so it's led to a lot of misunderstandings over years. And the main contributor to that has always been language, right? That language barrier, I've noticed that if that language barrier was like gone, I could actually know them more. And you know, knowing that applies to someone who's so important to me, like, you know, relatively compared to like a stranger, it and like knowing that they have such a, because they have a very interesting life, considering that it was like, you know, they escaped their country during like a wartime too. Like my mom, in like very, 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 you know, broken, like babified native language of like mine, she like told me like, yeah, I went to jail. I was like, what the fuck do you mean you went to jail? I was like, yeah, I was in jail. And I was like, what the fuck? And she was like, yeah, I was considered like a war criminal or like something. Not like a war criminal, sorry, but like someone who was like trying to like run away and like trying to get like a better life. I don't know the like term, but they considered her a war criminal. So she like ran away and like stuff like that. I'm like, holy shit. She didn't do anything. She just ran away. She was just because a civilian in like a very sort of like, you know, undemocratic place is like a very scary thing. But to know more about aspects of their lives like that would be fascinating. And knowing that everybody that around you has that kind of story, right? Maybe not as intense, maybe not as very cool, but everybody around you has some interesting story. And I find that being able to learn languages just to communicate with each other is probably the best thing that you can do, right? It's one of those things that like, one of the things that I really wish AI gets to very, very well is language translation. Because I think, and this is my assumption, but I think having automatically translating languages, kind of like what you see in like Deus Ex and like stuff, right? Would be so goddamn good for the sake of the world getting better. Like, imagine if everybody could understand each other on like a very sort of like base level. We could all understand what everyone's talking about. We could all be better with each other. We could all be able to understand our problems and sort of like communicate well. There'd be no barriers between people anymore. And that to me is like a very fanciful goal, but I think we're getting closer and closer to that goal over time. And, you know, it's similar to Anthony Bourdain's sort of like line about how every American should have like a passport, right? Like everybody should be able to travel, but everybody should be able to understand each other as like, well, you know. because you'll get the surface level stuff. Like Henry Kissinger recently died, and he went to I forget where, it was somewhere in Southeast Asia, and Anthony Bourdain wrote a very scathing paragraph about Henry Kissinger. You know, in relation to how he caused this one, you know, SEA, Southeast Asian place to be like basically demolished and had to rebuild itself, right? And that was only at the surface. Imagine if he could speak the like language as like well to understand more, right? You know, and people like that. When they go around and like stuff, you know, that kind of experience, being able to do that as any regular person where you live, without having to go and like buy a plane ticket and have so much money and have a guide taking you, have something translating for you, but still being able to like learn and connect with someone else. That to me is kind of like where we need to go, I think, for everyone to understand each other, so we can stop doing stupid stuff to each other. Because, you know, world's crazy. It's getting worse, better and like worse in many different ways. But it's about like being able to like, you know, communicate with one another, to strive towards like a nice, peaceful place. I feel like language is that one first step that we need to take. So this, but like basically all this to say, I wouldn't be able to learn this. I would probably, you know me, I have short-term memory loss. I wouldn't be able to learn this. I would forget every single form immediately. This already is problematic for many, many people, okay? Literacy rates are at an all-time low in many different places. I'm lucky that my nieces know how to read. I loved reading to my nieces when they were growing up. Not my latest niece, because my brother does it, obviously. But my other nieces and nephews, I read them a lot when they were growing up. So they're good at being able to read and write. But I've seen their classmates, and you know, I remember my classmates even when I was in school. This is already a problem for many people. This, I don't think anyone from my classes could figure this out, which is a shame. Again, I will put in the effort at some point, because I do want to try to learn all of these languages. It's gonna take time though. Let me take some tea, just a nice tea sip. We're gonna move on to our next game. This is gonna be a fun one, okay? This is gonna be a really fun one. Just be warned, this is a kid's game.